the way I was raised is people who pay rent get to have sex. And so that's kind of the vibe that I was raised with. It was very pragmatic. Like literally I was told that if you have a driver's license and a credit card, then you can have a boyfriend. That's when I had my first boyfriend.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pilots 101, the podcast where we talk about the pilot episodes of various TV shows. My name is Chris Quintos. Hello. With me, as always, as ever, is my co-host, Miss Lisa Timmons.
Hi. Hi, Chris. You guys, here's what you need to know about friendship.
What do you need to know about friendship?
Well, you know, it's very interesting. You and I started to record earlier, but we were both, it was hard, guys. It is tough. You know, as you can probably imagine, as everyone is currently, you know, dealing with their struggles. But, you know, it's funny, this show. And Just Like That, which is
this fucking show,
the focus of this week. I mean, I have to say, I watched the pilot, but I started bleeding into the second episode because I was like, good Lord, that's a reveal.
Yeah, you needed you needed a little bit of, did you?
And, go ahead, what were you going to ask?
Did you watch it alone or did you watch it with Chris?
I watched it alone because, okay, here's another reason why this morning went the way it did.
Okay.
Woke up at 7:22, looked at my watch, was like, thinking we were recording at 8. I was like,
right.
I ran to the living room, put it on.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I may just make it. And so I just was like, watching. And then I realized, I looked at the text and you had said 9.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh, let's have a coffee and a piece of toast and calm down. And then I did. And I got to watch it. And then now here's the thing is I had heard, guys, by the way, spoiler.
Yeah, because we know.
We all know. But I already knew that Big died on the Peloton. I thought it was more cartoonish. Like it was more like him going, and then just like falling off out of frame and being like, see, she's single again. We can have fun. Like they used to do in the sitcoms, you know, where it's like, this character, get them out of here.
Oh my God. Yes.
But that was very dark.
So you knew, okay. So you knew, well, of course, because everyone, that's all
the Peloton jokes the week that this came out were out of control. I could not
can't avoid it.
Find it. Also, if you know who I'm friends with in life, in general, and what target demographic in which I reside, I could not avoid these spoilers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of like, if you're a woman of a certain age who likes entertainment, you're going to learn about how the Sex and the City thing goes, whether or not you're on the train.
Your thing about, because we had started talking about it even before I'd seen it, but your comment on how often everyone feels the need to self-identify as their age is insane.
I mean, I will admittedly, I feel like I do that when I'm in like with a younger crowd, but I feel like
because you're like, hi, friends, I don't want you to think I don't know who I am.
Right. But I feel like when I'm with my friends and we're all the same age, I wouldn't just be saying that over and over. I don't think.
No, I think for me, it's like the age thing has now become like my ethnicity where I'm like very aware that I'm probably passing, but I also want everyone to know that I haven't forgotten who the heck I really am.
Oh my gosh. Yes, exactly. So I wrote no notes, and let me just tell you, because I've seen it before, but I usually am like a diligent note taker.
You really are. You're so like, you have all these moments just
it's
ready
insane.
to go.
I'm But just into my personal life and all that stuff, my dog passed a week ago, and I've just been like, ugh. And then like I was sort of not dreading watching this, but like kind of was also kind of like, oh, there's a big death in it, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, maybe that'll be like good for me. It was okay, it was fine. Like,
Episode 2, though, the open.
Oh, with the it's a funeral, right? How does it open?
Opens with Miranda in bed, and the phone rings, and Steve goes, "It's Carrie," and she answers.
Right.
Cut to her at the door. That's the part that really destroyed me.
That's right. Yeah. So they were still very much dealing with it, which was like, yeah, that. So Sex in the City. Like, first of all, Samantha's not there.
No, and the way they address it is like interesting. How it's very kind of meta-ish. Yeah. Where it was like, well, I told her I didn't need a publicist anymore, so she didn't want to be my friend. And I was like, okay, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's so funny.
I heard that for the first time. I did when I rewatched it last night. I was like, she's talking about their real relationship, I think. Like,
that's
she was
what it feels like.
Right? Because she was Sarah's SJP. Because she was just like, I told her, like, I get it. Just talk to me. Just talk to me. And she just kept saying over and over, I wish you just like talk to me about it.
Yeah. Like, so it feels like that's the message that she wants to put out there, is that, I've been trying. So I don't know. Yeah. It's just, it's so tough behind the scenes of these things where, we often get pitted against each other.
We talked about Catastrophe, and how that may or may not have blown up. But
oh my gosh, but like the moments, the black professor.
Oh my God. When I rewatched that last night, I was like, I can't.
But here's the thing, that this is the issue.
Yeah.
Miranda.
So, yes.
I very much, first of all, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. Just totally brutal.
I mean, they really put a white girl up there just stepping in it. They just
fully. And what's so frustrating though is like, I felt like, okay, so I totally noticed that part, like very aggressive. I mean, we all know why we were supposed to see that. So then when she was talking to Carrie later, she was explaining herself. Right. And so she said, I was worried about being the white woman who would say the wrong thing. So I said all the wrong things. And the thing that I wanted to hear from either Carrie or someone in her inner circle was, that's because your job now is to listen. Because that's the problem to me, because here's the thing. I'm white, but probably more than a lot of white people I know, especially like my age, I've been in spaces very often from a young age where I wasn't the dominant culture. I was not the dominant face.
Right.
And I learned a lot of it from growing up overseas and military. Yeah. There's this thing, it's called host nation. That is the nation that is hosting you. Okay. So when I'm in a culture where someone else's culture is more dominant, like Miranda, you walked into a classroom where you're the odd man out. Yes, clearly everyone else here is on the same page. What do? You listen and you observe. Yes. And I don't think that these kinds of white women that we're seeing and just like that, we're seeing them struggle because they do not know how to walk into the room and not just quietly. I mean, I was thinking to myself, why are you telling this person where or where not to sit? Because first of all, that's a black lady. I ain't opening my mouth to tell her what to do. No way, no how. Anything. Because I just showed up to this class. Right. I'm the newcomer. But you wanted to seem knowledgeable. And that's what the problem is.
That's to me. The problem, Karen.
To me. Because I'm going to step in it all day long.
Sure.
But what I'm not going to do is go, hi, so here's an aside as to why I did that. I'll be like, listen, here's why I did that. I don't have enough practice doing this.
Yeah,
it's very blatantly, sadly obvious that I don't have enough practice doing this.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was such an uncomfortable scene. But I think it was really good that it existed. And it felt like one of the most real, like, or genuine or vulnerable thing on that show was like that.
Also, I will say too, again, the fashions do not disappoint.
Oh my God.
The professor's outfit
the clothes.
The little cropped leather jacket, the multicolored pants. I love that. I also loved Carrie's. I think this was from when she and Big were talking. They were doing the record playing thing.
Yeah.
The picking the record.
In the beginning, yeah.
She is wearing this, like, it looks like it must be linen, gold, like a pale gold, beautiful pantsuit that like had these, like, it was really, I really have, that's why I came, honestly.
I agree. I found that too.
The fashion is very fun.
The fashion, and I remember I used to love that about the first go round. And I think a lot of people did, obviously, but like they didn't come to play. Like they did a really good job.
The outfits, everything is great. It was so, it's just so funny how I could not stop laughing how much everyone was like, we're so old now. Hi, we're old.
So yeah. This article that I read where they're just like talking about how like all they do is talk about how old they are. Someone else said like basically a big criticism is like it just feels like the last 15 years just never happened.
Yes. Because they were like, they really make it feel, that's the thing. The saying we're so old now makes it seem like you guys haven't seen each other the whole time. We haven't seen you either. And you're like, can you believe we're alive?
Right. And that's what it feels like, right? Like, because it's, I mean, tell me, no, we have been in and out of groups of friends. Like you and I have been friends and whatever. But like 15 years from now, to guess that like the group of friends that we're in now or we're in or whatever, like would still be exactly the same 15 years from now when it comes. It's insane, right?
It's completely insane. And just, it's not sustainable, I don't think. And like they do the thing, it's weird. But you know what I kind of feel like? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Please.
I feel like they don't really want these characters to grow.
They do not want them to grow.
The truth is, this feels to me like multicam characters where you want the reset button that you get at the end of every week. I feel like the spirit of Sex and the City actually makes way more sense as a multicam.
Yes.
Just based on character development. Because what you're showing up for week to week is for Miranda to be salty, Carrie to be whimsical, Charlotte to be a prude, sometimes surprising you and not, and then Samantha to just be, banging and having the best life.
Right.
And so I personally think that the format itself, like serialized, like I just feel like these kind of characters were never intended to
grow.
Kind of. It's almost like, it's weird. I don't even know. It's so funny that I'm saying that now, but I remember when I was watching Gracie and Frankie for the first time, I was like, this is so strange. It's a single cam, but it feels like a multicam.
Right.
I was like, it felt like tonally it felt like that. And so I don't know if I imagine, I don't know what I'm saying.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right because I think like in contrast to, let's say, Catastrophe, right? Where it's like, do they change? Well, they don't change, but the situation's changing fast, right? It's like they're going to have a baby. Mm-hmm. Like whether or not they like it. We still see them stepping in it. Yeah. Like continually.
And also, if you are familiar with how the season progresses, they rock it. They get to it. There's no like dawdling. It's just like, bam.
We're having the baby. Yeah. And then I tried to, I don't know what episode I'm in on this show, like 5. So I rewatched the pilot and then I jumped back in wherever I was, like 3 or 4. And I was like, oh yeah, I just love the fashions. I love the fun. I like now that they're women of a certain age. That's always what I liked before. But like, it is very like candy or like,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like
you can't. It's
like not gonna have a meal.
No, this is the Peeps of television. It's like very fluffy.
It is the cute. Peeps of television. It
it's ornamental. Maybe you don't eat it.
Yeah. It reminds you that it's a certain season, but you're not like, yeah.
It's
totally.
of a certain time. People may judge you if you get them.
But you can't not have them. I mean,
you can't not have them. You need to
buy
just
them there. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever.
Because you know what? Because we're nostalgic for them. They're not good.
Nostalgic.
We didn't like them, but we at a certain time in our lives, we thought about them.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
I mean, the escapism of the fashion, and also one thing that I did fully feel was I haven't ever lived in New York, but I've had a bunch of friends who have lived there, and I've been really lucky that every time I've visited, I've stayed for at least 10 days. Well, and when I show up, I just hang at whatever friend's place and then do what they do. And one friend was a dog walker, and so we walked all over the city. One friend one year had to buy a mattress, so we went and bought the mattress, and so every time I visited New York, I've not felt like a tourist. I felt like I got to live like however my New Yorker friends live for a little bit. So
cool. That's really cool.
I will say, seeing people walking around in the city and like knowing that this was like, I don't know, it's this weird, like, I can't pull myself out of the reality of pandemic and just being like, man, that must have been so nice for them to like walk around and just feel normal. Like that was where my weird brain was going.
I agree. No, because there was because it opens with, remember when we had to stay 6 feet away from each other? It opens with like that line. And I was like, that's an interesting choice to have, like,
to acknowledge it.
Yeah. To have written that, because it's like, you didn't, whenever they made this, it's not like it was ending.
No, it was it's really funny. I also missed any of the movies. I haven't seen any of the movies.
Yeah, I think I didn't see the last one. I think the first two were like so bad, and I didn't see the last one. But,
I mean, I always follow the reactions because I'm that Janet Jackson meme, just eating those tangerine slices. What's everyone doing?
Right. Well, you can't be a Bravo girl without like coming into, you know what I mean, this world.
It's like how, even though I wasn't raised Catholic, because my mother is Latin American, I will forever have it in my DNA.
Yes.
Bravo's also in my DNA.
Yes. Exactly. But yeah, like it just, like I said last time, I was like, I don't think I ever came because it was like revolutionary. I wasn't here because it was like a revolutionary thing. I always was here because it was so fun.
It was just fun and silly. And like for me, this was the first time. So when Sex and the City came out and was on the air, I had just moved to Los Angeles. So I was a young woman in a new big city that I never lived in before. And I certainly never fancied myself to be a Carrie. I always felt more of a kinship with Miranda.
Yes,
I think
same.
A lot of us did.
Yeah, same.
And Charlotte at times.
Yeah, never Samantha.
Never Samantha. I've always been friends with at least one Samantha.
Yes.
They are the people who inject the color into life.
So fun. But like, yeah, exactly. And so it's interesting that it's like, I don't know that this is the show we need right now.
Ma'am.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Completely agree. They are like completely out of touch. Like it is this business of the podcasting. How is she? I am so thrown. Like, does this lady not remember her lunches with Samantha, where suddenly Carrie's in there just like with her little like fan and just like a little debutante, a little Southern debutante. It's like, a lady never talks about her goings on. And you're like, ma'am, you are literally a sex columnist.
Right.
What is going on?
You're going to have to like, that whole, so Bobby Lee's in it and Sarah Ramirez.
God, I forgot that Bobby Lee is in there. Okay, the woke moment. What's happening? What's the woke guys? No. What? It was like, it's so, how did she end up on this podcast? Because I just love it where it's like, hey, if you don't start talking about sex, you're going to have to get out of here, lady. And I love that she like gets on the computer and is like, I couldn't help but wonder, am I a bad podcaster? And I'm just like, what are you doing? Pretend you're at brunch with Samantha. That's all you have to do.
Right.
You do not need to sit here and write. Pretend that your hoe friend is there.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's funny that it's like, it is trying to be woke from this really weird place. Like, I'm like, I hope that room is real diverse. I don't know.
I don't know. It's all interesting.
Because they're taking like a lot of like now they have this like non-binary character, right? Che.
Yes.
And like that, like.
Also, listen, like I said, I am a complete maniac. I have no problem with spoilers. So I already know that Che and Miranda have a little.
Yeah, they have a little tryst. And it just
situation.
Yeah.
See, you know what? I agree. I think we're going to get fun moments from this show. I do not think we're going to get fun, quotable, dumb moments like the Peloton thing. Like one thing that they know how to do in this room is create these hilarious cultural touch points that everyone can rally around no matter what your opinion. Like Chris Noth dying on the Peloton in the midst of his rape accusations.
Oh my God.
The thing about that's so crazy
Didn't even talk about that.
And just like, but that's the weird thing about this show. Whether or not they're doing it right, they somehow manage to be involved in the center of things as things are happening. Like it's this weird ability to be at the right place at the right time and on television, picking the right moments. Like I feel
it's so weird.
They know enough about when to stage these stunt pop culture moments, because I'm telling you, the Che thing, when I saw this little clip of them kind of flirting, I was like, see, this is the assignment. You guys understand.
This is the assignment.
They know how to pull us in with like stupid, like little moments where you're like, like they gets killed. Oh my God. I almost forgot.
Yes. This is
okay. Yeah. Lily Goldenblatt. Is that what's her name?
The
Lily,
daughter?
I am totally blanking on Charlotte's daughter. Lily.
Yeah. There's Lily, and then there's Rose. Well,
okay. Well, the actress who plays Lily, because every now and then, you and I pop out of the reality of the show and go, oh my gosh, this young woman, the actress playing Lily, is having a piano concert. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge, please. This young lady tears that piano up. So I go to myself, because I'm a big nerd, and I'm always like, and I was like, that's really her. They're not cutting away from the hands and her whole body, and all this is going on. Yeah. I look her up. She is classically trained vocally. Her whole little comment about what she did in that performance was, I'm not actually she basically was like, I'm not at the level of piano to play like that. So that was very hard for me. And I was just blown away, because I was like, wait, this kid went to school for like vocal, like she's clearly like musically gifted.
Yeah. This isn't even her thing.
I have to say, I'm such a dork about whenever like a performer has like this secret talent that like comes out on the screen. Like, I don't know if people know that like Gina Davis was like almost an Olympic level archer at archery. So I get like the weirdest nerd boner when like somebody does something and they don't have like a stunt person.
Yeah, and they're doing it themselves.
Like I'm like, that person did that flip turn. That was that actor. I'm like, I'm very impressed. But yeah, when I saw her playing the piano and then I looked it up, I was like thinking to myself, I was like, that's really impressive, because you're quite young. You're looking at this script. I mean, I'm thinking about myself in the position that I currently hold in the job that I have, where I'm like, I would be so petrified, because you're not I mean, yes, it's not live, but like you're not even, they're really shooting you doing this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going on and on, but I'm like, I took piano for 12 years and I could not pretend to do that. Like, I think
she's really talented. She's really good. And that whole, and the way that they wrote that recital, where it was like, we're going to this fucking recital, and then like she just blows everyone's socks off. It was so good,
and it was like legitimately good. It wasn't like, blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh,
the payoff was great. Like I was like, oh, this is like, well, I didn't see this coming. I don't know why. Like usually I feel like I see everything, you know what I mean? Like
I didn't either. And also the thing that made me laugh for some reason was the Steve's hearing loss. Like what happened?
What is that?
Where like, is he, because when the phone rings, he doesn't hear it at first.
Right.
At some point, and I'm like, is he deaf? Like
answers it and is like, it's Carrie? How does he know that? Like, I don't.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm like, I couldn't tell if it was a joke or I was like, well, I did miss the movies. Maybe Steve like was a roadie for a couple of years and like it escalated the hearing loss.
Their whole dynamic is weird. And then it is funny though to have the son who's just constantly banging. Like that is hilarious to me.
The son, the redheaded horny son who's constantly banging. Her name is Louisa, I think.
Yeah, Louisa. That's right.
I can't stop laughing because Louisa is my fake protagonist. One of my list of fake protagonist names that I like to use as a derivation of Lisa to pretend I'm not writing about myself.
Oh, nice.
I have Liz. Smart. I have Louisa. I have Lizzie. Yes. So I in that way, she's the character I related to the most.
I've also been that character because I had like I grew up in San Francisco. There were like a lot of progressive parents, so like I definitely like lived that role. But like,
I just meant that because I have a ginger boyfriend, a fiance, I should say. Yeah, that part. Okay, I'm really glad you bring this up because
please.
This is where I deal with a lot of like my own baggage.
Yeah,
because I'm like my house, like. In my head, the way I was raised is people who pay rent get to have sex. And so that's kind of the vibe that I was raised with. It was very pragmatic. Like literally I was told that if you have a driver's license and a credit card, then you can have a boyfriend. That's when I had my first boyfriend. I had all those things. So I can't, but I say that because and then I also go, but however, I don't know that I think that's necessarily the best way to raise children in an open environment. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm like,
I don't know.
I come from such a strict mentality.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I don't know what is that's the right. I feel like I wouldn't want kids to feel their sexuality expression to be, guilted or crushed in any way. But like I remember can I tell you at the same time, I'm such a shit. I was just like, not my problem. As a single lady who has 1-2 children, been around the world and
Good.
And then, came to find where I was landed. I was like, there are some things that I'm not going to lie, that I have no jealousy whatsoever about. And you know what? Go with God. I do not judge whatever you do because it looks like that looks terrifying.
Oh my God. I literally saw a can in the middle of the road and just kicked it as hard as I fucking could.
You said, what can?
That's what that was for me. I was like,
cans aren't a thing.
I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't. It just is so stressful. Again, like I said, I've been Louisa, unfortunately, or fortunately, or whatever. I mean, we were all girls at some point. And
I think I am Louisa now. Sorry, guys. This is why I'm having the most fun. I didn't do it before. You have to be there at some point.
You got to be her at some point. You got to put the Louisa hat on. Yeah, and just like she's trying. Kids are gonna have. I'm just like, Miranda. It's just another thing that's on her plate or whatever, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I feel like I don't know. She has this whole plot line of alcoholism, which is an interesting plot line.
Yes, and I meant to ask you. I couldn't. The last time I remember her doing anything like that was Weight Watchers. Do you remember when she went to Weight Watchers and started dating that guy? So I was like, group therapy? Is this what she's are we heading towards new sexual adventures and group therapy?
I hope so. I hope so. We'll see. Yeah, I think she's like, they're just trying to put her in a rut. but they're putting her in like all the ruts. It feels like.
Oh my gosh.
Which like I don't know if that's realistic, but I also don't know. I'm here for the ride. Like whatever.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I was thinking that too. Excuse me, because when they killed Big, I was like, oh damn, we doing this?
Yeah,
like
we
okay.
fucking killed Big. But I was also like,
now let me ask you. I'm confused. I don't know the full timeline of when the allegations came out,
right,
and when the show came out. So, I right before we recorded, I like Googled the show, and the amount of articles that have come up is just overwhelming. And the one I saw, it says Cynthia Nixon says it was, quote, lucky they could cut Chris Knotts and just like that, whatever. So I'm very curious about the timeline of how all this shook out.
I think we all are. I think we are all very curious. Here's what happened, I think in real time, and someone can correct me, but the show came out. Yeah, speculating. The show came out, he dies on the show, and then the allegations come out, and then the show comes out and is like, we support all women.
I think you're right, because I can't imagine that.
But
go ahead.
Oh no, but I'm gonna say like, but you know how this town works, and like I don't know what a back deal. Who knows what when?
I don't know who knows what when. I think it's interesting that he died in that first episode. Right. That's a real big, bold choice.
It is. It is a big, bold choice.
And like who it initiated with, maybe it was some sort of deal that he got to die.
Or even at the same time of like, what if it's like, oh my God, we're rebooting the show 50. I mean, I don't know. Another scenario could be like, we're rebooting the show 15 years later and we know this guy's problematic. Let's kill him. Like we don't. You know, like there's so many scenarios.
Oh my gosh, when they said when she said Samantha was no longer with them at the beginning,
I
was like, everyone's dying.
Everyone.
This.
Well, also, and that's so real too. I can't like that line when she was like, remember when we had to say? I said this already, but remember when we had to stay 6 feet away from each other? We were mandated to. I was like, how is this going to age?
I kept thinking, if you're going to act like we're out of it and it happened, we don't even need to address it.
Right.
Because also,
you don't get to make jokes about it then.
Here's the thing. I mean, listen, I think it's a challenge for any show to decide whether or not you want to acknowledge pandemic or not. But I think it also just speaks to the lack of vision with this.
We don't know.
To begin with anyway. Like none of their stuff has aged well and there's a reason. And I think that it's like, like I said, they're so good at being of the moment.
Yes.
That's what it is. These are time capsules. These are going to be fun to watch because to see them trying to acknowledge pandemic and COVID and then, but there is no trace of it.
But
left.
Not. Yeah.
It's like,
completely.
We come here for escapism.
Right.
Ladies. We're not here to learn lessons.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't need you to be like we don't need you to be woke. We need you to just be like, we're out of touch. Like, I would much rather, this is why I love The Housewives. I would much rather watch a bunch of women who are like, listen, if you think I'm ever going to catch up to where this is, just no. Shoes. Hello, lover. Yeah. Like, just do that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Were you surprised by the allegations? Were you like, sort of like,
the thing
I don't know.
Is, I was never like a big, like, it has to be big. Like, I was just kind of like, he's another character on the show.
Right.
I mean, I think any male, I don't know. I feel like there's been smoke around him.
For a while.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
There's an era around him.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, let me text this right back. There's an era, and like, I mean, I feel like there's like a handful of people where if something came out, people would be like, whoa. Shocked. But the problem is it's so
it's problem.
I don't know who those people are.
That's the problem.
A few.
That's truly the problem.
Like, oh my gosh, when Bob Saget passed.
Yeah.
And all you're hearing is just lovely things, you're like, well, I guess that's how you find out.
Seriously, no, that is a really good point.
That sounds absolutely horrible, but the truth of the matter is, you're like,
right.
anyone who is scared of retribution would be speaking out at this point. So
Right. And
you know,
yeah, and you're right.
with exception, but for the most part.
Yeah, and you're right, is that when he did die, there's like a weird part of me that's like holding my breath to be like, well, do we know?
Yeah. Should I be sad?
Like, good place, bad place? Where are we going here?
When everyone was like, Sean Connery, and I was like, yes, listen, I'm not here to ever dance on anyone's grave, but do we remember this person? He talked openly about how hitting women is a way to like keep them from acting out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I've never felt more, maybe this is because it is my era and all this stuff, but I do feel like we are changing the guards. It's like you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like where I myself as a person, like how I'm going to do. You know?
Oh, exactly. Well, the thing is, I feel like at the end of the day, it really is about sitting back and listening.
Yeah.
Because I think acknowledging what you don't know and saying, I'm here to be a student. And that's the thing, Miranda. You have to just be the student. And I think that, I don't know. It's funny. I just feel really like, I don't know what it's like to be walking through this world thinking to myself, I really hope that guy who I was very sexually aggressive with that one time didn't interpret it as rape. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, I don't have past encounters on my brain where I'm like, quick, the Lisa Timmons scandal came out, and I'm like, I can't relate to like borderline behavior. I don't know. Like, I think it is very patriarchal. I think it's way more, I mean, women can, be doing this to other people too, but I don't, I just have never, I feel like I find it so hard to know what it is to feel like and like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's people out there who are like, Lisa, you really messed me up. But I'm just like, how can you ever not know?
Right.
That someone's doing. I mean, I guess his is like flat out,
I mean, his whole thing. Well, his wife, ex-wife, I guess. But it just, there's just no more like, was it I guess when I asked the question, it was like, oh, was it surprising to you or wasn't it surprising? It's just like, I don't know, because it's happening every day now.
It's happening every day. And the problem is, like, people are very loyal to their friends and people don't want to believe certain things. And so, or I don't know, like, there are franchises that make a lot of money. And so it's all it's all real weird and like
it's scary.
and like I don't know. And like I would hate to be on the wrong side of history.
Yes.
Yeah. It would feel gross.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's just hope. Let's just keep trying to ask questions like you always do. And like, let's just hope.
And just like that, we solved it.
That. Oh my God. I don't know.
What an interesting
show. A very interesting show.
I really related to the daughter who didn't want to wear the dress.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't know if they're gonna have the daughter maybe be gender fluid or trans or whatever, but like I kind of hope they don't, just because like I would like to see the point made of like, not all women want to dress like that who identify as female anyways.
Right.
Like, it's all, everything feels like a uniform.
Right. That was relatable. 100% relatable, no matter what.
Those were the biggest fights I got in with my parents, was just like, I don't want to wear a dress. I don't want to wear this dress. I don't want to wear this dress. And it wasn't even about my gender identity or my sexuality. No. I was just like, ugh, this is like I don't like it.
It's a weird, yeah, like all of a sudden you have an opinion and it comes on overnight. And like at that age, like that, I remember also doing that. You're like not particularly helpful. Like you're just like, all you have is a no, you know?
I just know what I hate.
Yeah, I just know what I hate. I don't know what I like.
And I have no constructive suggestions.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
start screaming.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I said this before, but like it does become it is an interesting it does become Charlotte's like storyline. It's like, oh, like we don't understand like gender identity and like which like I don't know that that's true. Like, is that, I guess that's in Charlotte's wheelhouse to not understand gender identity, but
Charlotte's interesting because I don't know that what I used to like about Charlotte was when she would surprise you, because I felt like it was like she was like, oh, you didn't know that was my character game?
Yeah.
Like when she was like, I remember they were like talking about all these like sex positions or sex things that they had. Oh my gosh. Wait, sorry. This is a much more interesting tangent in my opinion. So lately, because I said sex positions, I love how I was thinking about how growing up, like in the 80s, I feel like the big thing that everybody was always like in the movies, it was like a blowjob. You're going to get a blowjob. I'm going to blow you under the table. Everyone was like getting blowjobs.
Yeah.
And then it was like very, like in the 80s, it was like, ooh. And then in the 90s, they couldn't stop talking about anal, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think like, and I think when we were in, like, so it's like, and then now it's like, I think everyone's like eating ass or whatever. By the way, we're going to have to just flag this episode because I'm going for it. Sorry, Carrie. I have no problem talking about these things. But the thing that I thought was so funny was, do you remember, like, we're different in age, and also these were such crucial ages, but at least when I was in middle school, like, the thing that everyone was always obsessed with was 69.
Oh my God.
And so Chris is always joking to me and he's like, let's 69 on the couch. And I'm like, logistically, I can't get excited about that. I'm sorry. And then I started thinking about like, just like, because I was remembering when they were at the table and they were like, have you done anal? Have you? I have, and it's fabulous. You know, it's like everyone was like, da-da-da, and it's just like, oh, 69. And I'm just like, remember when we just were like, as a nation, maybe as an adolescent, I don't know that adults were as talking about this as much as we were, but it was all about like, 69. That's like the craziest thing you could do with another person. Is like, and I'm like that is so annoying.
I think and it was just like the we were God,
by the way, I am really burying this.
We come from a weird time. Yeah.
We come from a weird time because that's the thing is I feel like when I think of And Just Like That and I think of Sex and the City, I actually think about the thing where the show shines is talking about all the dumb crap that we're currently obsessed with era. Sexually in the moment. And it's always like some technique, it's something that someone's doing. Like they're just like, ladies, have you heard of this thing where you
the rabbit, the
vibrator. Like it's always like there's always some fun, weird like I feel like a middle schooler again watching this show, which is the thing that I love where it's like they're always like, did you know there's a thing called genderqueer?
They're just like, we didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know.
Like, what are you? The show is entertaining because it literally is like watching grandma be like, oh, I don't talk about sex on a podcast. That's uncouth. And you're like, woman.
You used to write about it in a column. Like, I don't understand the difference.
This business of the technology just like flummoxing them is just so funny.
It's funny, but it's also like, I guess that's coming for us for real.
The thing is, I've always been, that's where I'm obsessed is the technology part. So I think that's the only thing that keeps me connected to the rest of the world.
I used to feel like that too, but I'm not on TikTok.
My mom's on TikTok. She's on there too much. I might have to limit her TikTok.
honestly feel like I can't. I know everyone else is on. I'm just like, I can't be obsessed with another thing.
Here's my final position on that.
It's 69.
Oh, wait, no. I'm going to quote Britney Spears.
Okay.
There's only two types of people in the world. The ones who entertain and the ones who, I can't remember. They're the audience. But anyways, we're the entertainers. So just stay on top of creating content because I don't know how to consume it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. We'll see about TikTok. We'll see.
Two types of people in the world. The ones who entertain. No, the ones who. I have to.
And the ones who.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. So, yes, I think we did And Just Like That some justice. I feel like.
We were. There's only two types of people in the world: the ones that entertain and the ones that observe.
Oh, observe.
I got it wrong, but like she didn't write it, but she sang it, and and you know what, guys? We try to observe and we try to entertain. I think you're right. I think we did do it justice.
I mean, what else is there to talk about? We went down all the corners and all the little weird holes.
And you know what? Everyone who like all of these stories, it's crazy how no matter what, they manage to be the talk of the town.
I know, right? What do you think you want to watch next now that we've watched this?
This is a great question. I definitely am feeling a laugh out loud funny would be
good
fun.
Move.
A good one.
Yeah.
A good move. Hold good move up. Have you seen South Side on HBO Max?
No. I think you were talking about this
before. It is a laugh out loud funny show about a pawn shop in Chicago. I'm sorry, it's not a pawn shop. It's a rent to own, RTO.
Yes, you did talk about
and
this.
And it's all of the employees back there and like the local cop. It's like, it'll make you laugh. But I'm also open.
No, I could use some laughs and this has been on my list for a little bit.
We're going to keep it light.
Let's keep it light, girl. I've just had, I already told you all. So just like, I can't even, I'm too numb to even talk about it. But I'm just like so glad that I have a space to just like be a regular person for a minute. And then I can go back into my little grief hole. Oh my God.
Ma'am.
Let's do Southside. But also, I don't want to like gloss over my grief. I want to also say like, we're still we're in a state of emergency. We are in a constant state of emergency. And now it's come to the point where like my dog, it's like we've been doing this for so long. That things have happened.
Seasons.
Multiple people seasons. Have come, people have go. Dogs have come, dogs have go. Like, it's just like, get us out of here. Get us out of here. I'm hitting a pandemic wall. We're almost there.
We are almost there. Everyone, I need you all to, whoever's listening, you're alive. You got through to this episode, and that's how we feel about ourselves. And I hope everyone is being kind to themselves.
Yeah, seriously.
And,
don't take for granted that this is real hard times.
Yeah, real hard times. And be kind.
Yeah, take it easy. Watch a little Southside with us. Thank you for joining us. Come find us on our social media. We're at Pilots 101 Podcast everywhere. You can find me at Chris Q.
And I'm at Timmons Lisa.
Thank you for joining us.